Vince! Welcome back to Market America.
Well, it's great to be back in Market America. How is it out here in Miami? We just came in from Minnesota. Yeah. We were down there. Of course, our Philadelphia Eagles are in the Super Bowl, baby. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you talk about getting the last laugh, right, Dennis?
Without a doubt. You know, this is a dream come true for us to be able to do this project. We've been friends for 40 years. First starting out when we went out for the Philadelphia Eagles, and we were always put as the underdog. Vince being too old, Dennis being too small. Right. And it's sort of funny the way it all turned out, but not only for the National Football League, but in life itself. So we came up with some great ideas that can really make a difference for people, and we came up with the title, The Last Laugh.
Yeah, we have The Last Laugh because this is how it all developed and evolved. We were on the field because Dennis had taught me I got to read this guy's knuckles in order to not get killed on the field. So I go out, we're playing against the Washington Redskins, and we're backed up to the goal line. Dennis is the long snapper, and I'm the guy that goes to the inside and knocks this guy. I don't know how many people saw the movie Invincible. Did you see it? Okay. So you know the play, right? So at the end, you know, go in there, smash this guy, and who comes, and that guy fumbles the ball, and who comes running down right behind me to pick up the ball? There it is, Dennis Franks. We go to the sideline, and they had this, I guess we'll get the, can we get the?
Yeah, Howard, can you play the clip?
Yeah, let's go back one.
Clip, yes.
All right, let's pull it up. And this is what happened on the sideline after the play.
And his desire and how they felt watching him play. Longer than they're going to remember guys that caught more passes and scored more touchdowns. Because to them, what Vince did said more about who they were as fans and as a city than anything else. And that's what his legacy is going to be.
Well, anyway, our legacy is all about the dream. Thank you very much.
Yes.
And you know, we're thinking about the dream, I know, because JR was talking to Laura, 92. We were together right in the beginning, actually unpacking and packing boxes and part of the shipping process. Yeah. So, and we know about the dream, and a lot of times when you have the dream, and you know it too. Any dreamers out here in the group?
Dreamer?
Yeah, okay. So, and any underdogs in the group, you know, so here we are. Yeah. And anytime you have that dream, you got to dream big, but when you're dreaming, a lot of people are going to try to knock you down. Like when I was Dennis, of course, they were saying he was too small. When I was trying out for the Eagles in 1976, I didn't play college football. I was 30 years old. You're too old. You can't do it. It'll never happen. And I heard JR saying the word can't. But you know what? Guess what? It does happen. But the only way it's going to happen is that you have to have somebody in your life that's going to help you come out of it. And that's going to be your mentor. It's going to be your coach. Dennis was my coach. I would have never made the Eagles if it wasn't for this guy because we came together as advocates. I mean, that was my man right there. And you see this quote up here right behind me. And I had a coach, my high school coach. How many people here have a coach or a mentor that's helped them and get to where they got? And my coach gave me that quote. It says, happy are those who dream dreams and are willing to pay the price to make their dreams come true. How many? But you got to pay the price, right, Dan?
Yeah. Can't do anything without paying the
price.
Yeah,
and you know, the price to be paid is all this word. It's called hustle. So when you have this dream, people are just trying to tear you apart. And this is what happened with us as we were trying out, and I know it's happened with you. People are going to try to bully you out of it and basically tell you, no, it can't be done for whatever reason. And they're saying it can't be done because of it's too this or too that. You fill in the word too. You're too small. I'm too old. Oh, it's too much of a risk, and that's right up there. You don't have the skills to be an unfranchised owner. Oh, by the way, I'm one of them, along with my wife, Janet. Thank you very much. Yeah, I love being a UFO. They used to call me a freak, and now I know I am, right?
Yes.
You know, you don't have the right resume. What makes you think you can do it? It's too risky. Who cares if it's risky? I know when we were playing ball, we didn't worry about it. You got hurt. Who cared? You dusted yourself off and got back up. And then there's the entitled few. And they're the ones that are already there that said, oh, you're going to come up and try to be with us and the big boys, and I heard JR talking about earlier. But you know what it all comes down to? It comes down to these three things. People get pissed off when you do something different. That's what happens. They resent you because of their insecurity, and their insecurity is fueled by jealousy. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about then.
Can you see why he gets excited? All right, so again, so now we start talking about the Victor's Code and we start talking about where we're going. We wanted to take you to a place that we can help each and every one of you. Through these 40 years, the success that we've experienced has really come into a bunch of commonalities. And these commonalities really help lay the brickwork or the foundation for these 7 words that we'll go over. But I do want you to understand there is a difference between a dream and your goals, your action plan. There's something in between dream and goals, and it's called vision. So I want to start with the Victor's Code, and I want to start with vision. Now think about vision, the ability to see. The ability to see what other people cannot see. You see, when you start out on your direction, on where you know you should be going, there are opportunities for you to be off track. And this is where the vision is that high definition of the dream, where you can follow that pathway. And so going with that, we give to you a 7-step process to define your vision. So we start asking questions, and we go through the 7 steps, and the 7th step is what happens if it doesn't happen?
Well, if it doesn't happen, you have to go through the process. It's called analyze, adapt, and achieve. You get to know why it didn't happen, right? And all things are right now, everything is it's just going so quick, and everything is happening in business. And if you can't keep up with change, you're done. So you have analyzed, okay, let's see what's going on. Why did it happen? And then the next part is adapt. The adapt part, you have to have your audible. In football, we had audibles. You have to have your game plans. And then the last thing is, it's your victory, which we'll talk about, and that's getting it done, and that's achieve. Analyze, adapt, and achieve. That's what happes.
Now, the next one, it falls into valor. And valor is the courage to begin. Each and every one of us need to understand you're moving into an area that you're going to be uncomfortable. And you're going to have to do things that you are just not used to. But you've got to come over that. You've got to get over it and have the courage to go.
Yeah, you know, basically what valor is all about, it's about taking risks. It's about doing things that are uncomfortable. Because if you don't do things out of your comfort zone, you're never going to improve. And that's what the risk factor. So what's the risk? Well, it might not happen. You might fail, but so what? Because you know what? Failure is an event. It's not a person. So when something happens to you and you don't get it, it doesn't mean that you're a failure. It's just that thing didn't happen, and you move on to the next one. Take those risks.
The next part of the code is vehemence. This is about your passion. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we all have passions, but the hardest part of it is maintaining the passion throughout that journey. So what we created was a series of fire-stoking rituals. And we go through a series of different things, whether it be working with the head, working with speeches, I mean, before you go in for preparation, working with friends and working with different obstacles that you have. But what is it that's going to keep you fired up?
Well, we always, Dennis and I, we had this thing, you know, about with visualization, and he was talking about some of the vision and those fire-stoking things that you do. And what we would do the night before a game, we would visualize a big hit that we have the next day in the game. And more often than not, it happened. We always had a saying, it's that set your hair on fire and cause a wreck. But it's all about passion. And when it's passion, define your role and make sure you play it with passion. Is there more passion than what you saw up here with JR and Ben? I mean, that's passion.
JR rocks the house with passion.
So that's passion. All right, Dennis, go on, baby.
And it just makes everything better. So from being passionate, we need veracity. Veracity is the ability to tell the truth. I want to be very straight with you. If you have a vision, the high-def dream, and you set your goals and you're on your way, ladies and gentlemen, if you can't talk about it truthfully, you are in big trouble. I like to define it in givers and takers. For us as being unfranchised owners, we need to give the information so that the people that we work with can make a good decision, whether it's right or wrong, but give them the decision. The takers are the people who just say whatever they have to say to sell or close a deal. We don't have deals. It's all about unfranchised business, unfranchised system.
Coach Vermeil always had a saying when you're talking about veracity here and speaking the truth, don't overload your mouth with your butt. Right? Don't do that. It's basically, if you understand the jargon, you know, if you're talking the talk, you better be able to walk the walk, and that's what it is. So when you're going out and you're selling and you want that thing so bad, make sure you're speaking the truth, because if you're not, your body language will tell you otherwise.
Absolutely.
And secondly, when you do speak the truth, you energize the person that you're speaking to. So stay truthful at all times.
You betcha. Telling the truth through ferocity. The next one is vitality. Ladies and gentlemen, we as business owners have a journey to accomplish whatever vision we see, but you've got to be able to complete the journey. We take a special amount of time to help you understand on how you can do that through training, through good food, through supplementation by a great company who we both use the products.
Don't we though?
With Market America and our isotonics, but also working with our TLS food selection. So we do refer to the things we actually do as a business, but they are in the references, and we'll send people to those products. But vitality to us, hey, listen, if we just came off of 6 amazing days, and we still have several to go forward. Comments?
Yes, like this, but if it weren't for the isotonics and all the vitamins, we couldn't do it, right? And that's what it is. So if you come into our house, or you go into Dennis's and Nancy's house and mine and Janice, there's that drawer. It's right there. We do the isotonics. We do have our fitness programs. You know what? You're only as pretty as you feel. It's as simple as that. I'm going to be 72 next week. Do I feel 72? That ain't happening. Check this out, baby. Woo!
Oh yeah, give me some of that, dude. See,
well,
I'm a young buck, that's all I gotta tell you.
And one more thing, and this is really important. 16 years ago, the woman I love the most in my life, my best friend, said, you better get checked. You're 55 years old, you better get checked, and get checked for cancer. And I got checked, I had a colonoscopy. And you know what they found? They found my father's shoe up there. Yeah. Now, you know what they found? They found a little bit of cancer, so they ripped 18 inches of my colon out of my belly, and here I am 16 years later. You can't complete the journey unless you're healthy. Make sure you get checked.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. All right. The next V is vigor. Now we're going to work with the head, the mind, the ability to thrive and survive. It's keeping you on an emotional high throughout the journey. And I will say this right now, it is not easy to overcome the naysayers, because how many of you have had people, after you told them that you focused on owning an unfranchised business, either said, you got to be crazy, or said, good for you, and went home and said, can you imagine David and Stacy are doing this? You know, they're the naysayers. They're not necessarily in your corner. But you know what? It doesn't matter if your head is in the right place. Vigor is so, so very important.
Yeah, absolutely, Dennis. And you know what makes you successful right here? It's not you simply as an individual. It's you as a team. And that's what it's all about. It's all about teamwork, right?
Absolutely.
And look at it this way. Teamwork makes the dream work. You all have to work together with energy, passion, knowledge, enthusiasm, building relationships. But that's what it's about. That's what survival is about. And again, and Ben talked about it earlier, it's about having a great attitude. And it's all positive attitude. Teamwork makes the dream work. You cannot do it alone.
We got to keep the head in the right place. Feed the mind. We've got the great unfranchised media application. You've heard some great things that the guys brought up and Sarah Rose introduced, so pay attention. Now, the last one of our 7 V's is victory. Now, I want everybody to understand this is the accomplishment of the aim you set out to do. And we learned something, because the last laugh refers to obtaining that aim or that goal that you've set. Now, all of a sudden, you have it. You've accomplished it. But here, when you really think about it, you can celebrate. But we found out all that does is allow you to go back, if you have a bucket list, or along the journey you found something else that meant something very special to you. You're ready to lay the foundation for the next last laugh. Vinny?
Yeah, and that's what Last Laugh's about, and it's all about having that dream and having that dream come true. And you're looking at 2 of the most ultimate underdogs ever, the Philadelphia Eagles underdogs going into the Super Bowl. And basically the victory for us, of course, the victory was making the team. but the big victory is standing here in front of you 25 years later after the dream started, and that's what it's all about. So, and the victory is right here in the room with every one of you.
So now, we have a very strong belief to the Victor's Code, but we had to prove it through other successful people. So we created in the book called The Last Laugh, which if you want to get a copy, which I would really appreciate, would you appreciate? It's going to be sold at section 101 and 111, and there's a card inside so that you can get your cash back and your IBV and deliver that card to section 102, where they will put it into your account. So I do appreciate that. Oh, and by the way, for all the team at home, MarketAmericaShop.com has the exclusive rights to move Last Laugh all the way up to March 4th when the national release happens. So it is only Shop.com that offers this book. So it's really exciting for you. All right?
All right, hold on. Before we start with the Victor's Code, I just want to make sure, because fundamentals is repetition, you can purchase and acquire the book in sections 101 and 111. 102, you get your little 4x4 card, and Dennis and I will be signing, as soon as we get done here, the book that you purchase in 111, all right? All right, here we go. Let's get our Hall of Famers.
So let's talk about the most amazing Hall of Fame on the planet. First of all, Bo Eason, big-time football player, ended his career with the San Francisco 49ers, created a new dream to become a Broadway star. He went to Broadway, he became 15 years of study, and finally wrote his own Broadway play in which he became the star and the only performer. It was called The Runt, and today they're getting ready to make a motion picture from Bo Eason.
Yeah, you know, he's getting the last laugh. And we have a friend in Philadelphia. She's an Olympian, 4-time gold medal Olympian in soccer, TV analyst. Her husband was a quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. She's host of Soccer Superstar. Our friend and also one of you, Heather Mitz-Feely, your Hall of Famer.
The next person we wanted to round out was someone in the art field. We brought in Brian Rittenberg, and Brian is an award-winning artist. His fame has really gone up to not only painting landscapes, but now he's in New York in Manhattan with one of the largest galleries. He came in and shared the code with his success, and it was absolutely amazing. You're going to love what he has to say.
You know, the great thing about those sharing the code, like my friend Kazdan Nikola right here, he's the owner of a professional football franchise in Philadelphia. And when we say share the code, they took a look at the codes that Dennis and I had created, and then they said, you know what, we believe in this code, and we're going to show you how we can get and how you can get and realize your full potential through that code. And this guy, he's a billionaire, and he's a serial entrepreneur, owns football. I mean, the greatest guy in the world, humanitarian, on the board at Temple University, and he's my buddy Kazdan Nikola, and you're going to love what he has to say.
He's amazing. He also owns the brand Chicken Soup. So,
that's right. He's a Chicken Soup
we're
for
liking
the soul.
him. Yeah, very much.
I forgot that, yeah.
Head coach of the University of Michigan, Jim Harbaugh, has a lot of great to say. Go Wolverines. We're going to beat you, Ohio State, one day. So he's got a lot of stay in coaching. Go ahead.
All right, there we go. And Helly Lee. I love Helly. I know Helly. She lives out in the West Coast with her husband, Ken Mock, who was the executive producer of Invincible and the creator of America's Next Top Model. Helly is the author of Still Life with Rice. She did a documentary on Macho Like Me. She dressed up like a man and lived like a man for 6 weeks, and also an activist. And what she did, she brought her grandparents into the United States from North Korea and risked her life to do it. That's our friend Helly Lee. You'll love her. And her husband, Ken Mock. Ken Mock is the guy, as I said, that took the risk in me and our movie and you, because Invincible is your story. And he's the executive producer of that, America's Next Top Model, and the founder of 10+10. And then I have the Mannion family. This is my friend Tom Mannion. See that beautiful man right in the middle? Well, he lost his life to a sniper's bullet in Afghanistan and Iraq, and he didn't come back home. And this is the story of a Gold Star father who also lost his wife on the right, Janet, 2 years after he lost his husband, and how he got himself back together, a colonel in the Marines after 30 years, and he tells us his story through the Victor's Code.
Next, we have Mariel Hemingway, artist, actress, someone really impressive if you ever get to hear her. She said to us in the interview, she says, how can two guys with so much testosterone have something that would be so feminine? And it's rather interesting because this book also applies to women and what their dreams are and how they can accomplish more. Mariel is amazing. If you ever have an opportunity, please check her out.
All right, and Pat Croce, a buddy of mine, he's just absolutely wild guy. I've known him since he was a teenager, coached against him. Now he's a serial entrepreneur, used to be the president of 76ers. If you ever heard Nautilus Machines, one of the first guys to do that. And he has books out, 7 Secrets of Self-Made Leader. He has restaurants and bars down in Key West, if you're around here. Pat Croce, maybe one of the most dynamic people and speakers you'll ever hear. And you go with Coach Vermeil.
This guy is amazing. Coach Dick Vermeil, Super Bowl champion of the Super Bowl 34 with the St. Louis Rams, and also the coach that gave us our shot, sort of like JR gave me the shot, okay? But we love him. He's had so many good things. We love a lot of things that he said, but you measure success by the obstacles you overcome is one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's Coach Vermeil. He has this one quote, as Dennis said it great. He said, an opportunity is worth to a person exactly what their preparation enabled them to make it. And that's what this is all about right here, that opportunity of a lifetime. Oh, he also said, nobody ever drowned in sweat. You showed it right there, JR. I'll tell you what, nobody ever drowned in sweat. You were doing it, man. You left everything on the field. That was great. And then finally,
the man that we think is the most amazing man in the world, the visionary, the man I love, we love, JR Ridinger. JR, come on up here.
Little known fact, the first meeting that we had many years ago at, what was it?
Cherry Hill, the Hyatt House?
Cherry Hill Hyatt. Then his first trial run, him and Vince had 500 people out. 500 people. I said, this isn't going to work. Let me show you the basic 5. You know the old tape? That's where it comes from. But I love these guys because they're a living testimony to the Victor's Code, and they actually did it. And look, they're not personally in the Hall of Fame. And I love one thing about sports. There are pictures in it. I love one thing about sports. The parallels to business and life are so great that they can't be ignored. And it doesn't matter what level you play at, it's all relative. The experience that you have. You can win every game in college or high school and go to the pros and get your rear end kicked. The level of competition. But for a teacher to walk on the field and make the team that went to the Super Bowl is incredible. Invincible. You know, Dennis, you were really a linebacker, weren't you?
Yeah.
Turned center.
Yeah.
But he did whatever it took because he wanted to play, and he made the team. To me, these guys are a living testimony to what it's all about. I love the Victor's Code. It's about the last laugh. It's about people who are not supposed to make it that make it anyway and get the last laugh at all their friends that told them they couldn't make it, which is our story and many of your story. We get the last laugh, ha ha.
Yeah.
Right? So the book is incredible. Dennis interviewed me. I got to address each one of the V's, which I thought was brilliant, just brilliant. And, you know, their picture is in the Football Hall of Fame. They took that. This blows my mind. They took that and turned it into a teaching, positive thinking tool of every field, comparing it to sports. The book is relevant to us. If you want to get the last laugh and win, you need to read the book. There's 20 pages in there of our story. Our struggle, our story, what made it happen, and at the end of the day, we got the last laugh because we used the 7 V's. It's 7, right?
There you go. Right.
So, look, the book is upstairs. I'm not a part of this financially, but I am a part of it motivationally, spiritually. I want to see this book make it. I want to see these guys make it, and we're their family. So please, go get the book, okay, so that you can have the last laugh. And don't forget to read my chapter. I want to thank you guys.
Yeah,
Is there anything else you want me to?
Yeah, we do. There's two things I want to accomplish here. One, you know, there's something coming after us. I just want you to know that when we got the feminine approach to the book, we had one of our UFOs, Bonnie Church, that took our words and made them come alive to both men and women, and we thank Bonnie. Now, the one thing I want everybody else to know is JR is originally from a town outside of Philadelphia, okay? Now, we just came from Minnesota. We went through, 50 different interviews and television shows. But most important, the Eagle fan base is going into Minnesota. And what we'd like you to do is help us. And I want you to, because you know this tune, we're going to play the Eagles fight song. It's just 30 seconds, okay? However, I need everybody to help us at the end when we spell out Eagles, E-A-G-L-E-S.
And stand on your feet and put your fists in the air.
And we're going to send this out to
there you go.
We're going to use the footage.
We're going to send it out to everybody, all the major networks that we here in Miami are supporting the Eagles. Okay, roll it, Howard.
Ready?
Boom, boom. Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. Fly, Eagles, fly.
For a touchdown, 1, 2, 3. Hit 'em low, hit 'em high, and watch the Eagles fly. Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory.
E-A-G